interest is finally peaked, I suppose, where I've heard you guys talk about it ad nauseum, and every time you mention Peaky Blinders, something else comes up that I'm interested in. And I just, for whatever reason, I just refuse to take that as a sign that I would like it. But now
I know
with the hat sold me. I don't know why the hat sold me, but
they all wear that hat, and they all have
razor blades.
And this isn't a spoiler, but they all have razor blades in the hats.
And then when they get into conflicts, they take off the hat and go.
Like, yeah, it's fucking awesome.
It's almost like
dude.
It's almost like Tupac in, I think it's either Juice or Above the Rim. You ever see that when he like does the magic trick and takes the razor blade out of his mouth that he just always has in it? That's fucking weird.
All right,
all right, we are live. You just tweeted it out. Let's retweet. This is exciting. People are filing in. So wait, is it a half hour or an hour show?
It's an hour, but it's only 6 episodes to a season.
Oh, no kidding.
Hey, I'm okay with this thumbnail for once.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like not in. I'm like,
you're not paying attention, but you look like you're at least being amused by something. It's probably on your phone. Mike looks like the life is leaving his body.
Well, it is. It sure is.
I like that you said it's probably his phone when I'm tweeting out the lie. Like of course I'm on my phone. I'm doing it for the group.
You're also also gonna be on your phone again at some point during this, and you're gonna be like, "What? No,
that ain't me, babe."
I was just asking you guys a question, and I wanted to check I got it right. Well, I think we're live. Everybody got the message. Twitter is up. We are on fire. Welcome, everybody, to our live episode, our weekly live episode of our Patreon exclusive podcast, What's a Scenario? I'm one of your hosts, Mike Cannon. With me, as always,
Mike Feeney, and also
Brendan Sagala. Welcome by order to Peaky fucking Blinders.
Yeah. See, this is going to be exciting when I start watching this, and then you guys have already moved on to a different show, and I'm like, right? And you're like, ugh.
Yeah, I'm gonna love that.
Well, here's the thing, dude, is like, I mean, both of us are like 5 years late because it's on the 5th season, but also it's a funny thing that like my buddy Matt was so much like you, Mike, growing up, where like we'd be like, dude, check out this band. We're all fucking loving them. We're going to go see them live this weekend. And he's like, oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds cool. I'll check them out. And then we're like, we're going to go. Did you want to get tickets? And he's like, no, I'll check it out though. And then like literally 4 years later is like, they're my favorite band. And you're like, what about someone recommending something where you're like, I have to find it on my own time.
It's definitely a certain type of mental illness, that's for sure. But I'm one of those people with bands, at least, or live events, where even if you guys are excited about it, I'll go. So even if I refuse to take the recommendation, I'm like, yeah, okay, let's go to a show. I don't give a fuck what it is.
I remember that next time. Next time I see a DJ coming, that's going to be sick.
Actually, you know what? Here's the thing, dude. For the podcast, I would 100% go to a DJ show and do Molly.
Molly, we were always doing Molly.
I mean, I'm on Molly.
I'm afraid we would three-way kiss.
We would. It's not even. We would do it for the show.
Yeah. You're afraid you'd like it.
Yeah,
I'd like it. That's what I'm afraid of.
Brandon, what I'm afraid of is that you'd upload it before we could create a tier high enough that it would be worth it.
Yeah, I'd be like, this is for 100 Instagram likes.
Yeah. Well, for those of you who don't know, who are tuning in for the first time, first of all, thank you. Welcome to the free version of the show. Hopefully you guys sign up for the Patreon. We're doing about 3 hours of content plus per week. We do 3 podcast episodes, plus we put all of our content up early on the Patreon. We're doing a bunch of one-offs. I'm actually recording a solo podcast right after this, so I don't know why or what I'm going to do, but I was telling Brendan that it's almost entirely like a stand-up exercise. I'm kind of trying to slow things down and be able to talk at a rate where I don't feel like I'm just frantically, trying to jam punchlines in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and sure. You should call it Mikey Likes It. Right?
Oh,
that's a good name for a show.
Mikey likes that.
I just thought about that when you were talking. I was like, it should be called Mikey Likes It.
Because it's going to be positive also. So it's going to be all about things that I like. I don't necessarily want to, just continue. Brendan, I don't like that.
Mikey doesn't like it already. Could you believe it?
Well, that's for this show. So this show, I'll reserve my hate, and it's all funneling toward Fatso right now.
Hey, man, I'm losing.
All right. I know you look good.
All
But
right,
anyway,
thanks.
this is a hypothetical based podcast. We do scenarios, what ifs, all that stuff. It's typically built by our Patreons. Everybody submits questions per week. This is our live episode. So we have to do the research. And by we, I mean Brendan. And he's going to be asking questions. And we're going to be taking some from our live chat as well, which is always wildly lively. So welcome, everybody. Thank you.
All right. So first question, we do a lot of the kind of the same if you find money questions. And
Right.
So I try to kind of ignore those when I see it. But I thought this one had this one added something that was obvious that I was like, oh, I wonder what we would do in there. So, okay, you find $1 million in $100 bills in a suitcase in the woods. And inside, besides the cash, is the name, address, and telephone numbers of the rightful owner. Do you try to return it to that person?
Now, it depends on what that last name is. If it's like Castiglione, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm bringing it back, because if it's some sort of, if it just says like the something family that ends in a vowel, I'm like, yeah, I'll bring it back. No questions asked. Don't worry.
Yeah.
What if it says
like
J? What if it says J Epstein and the address is Palm Beach?
What if it said Jay Okerson?
It's like, they'll never
I
know.
would never give it back to Jay.
Yeah.
I'd
Never.
keep it.
Ever.
Yeah. He doesn't scare me.
I guess
I think I do. I think I do, just because I know that somehow that million is marked, right? There's somehow, some way, somebody is going to be looking for it. They're going to find it. I just have that level of paranoia where, at least if I bring it back, listen, I may not get a reward, but I also might.
Yeah.
It's also fun where you're like, it's my paranoia that someone's probably looking for it. Like, yeah, the million. Yeah, I think people are on the hunt for it as we speak. But also, here's the other option. If you bring it back, what if you bring it back and you're expecting a nice little greased palm for your, finder's fee, but instead they're like, this is dirty money, and then they kill you for even knowing about the
You're
money.
A loose end.
Yeah, gotta tie it up.
I'm
That's
just gonna
right.
say, out of instinct, I'm keeping the money. It's $1 million and $100 bills. I don't care what name it says on the suitcase. I don't care whatever. I'm bringing it back home. That's my money. I need that money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what?
It's under my bed. Whatever.
Brendan, since this is our free show that is available to the public, I would donate it to Black Lives Matter.
Oh. Can I say something
All of
for a
it.
second?
And let me guess, Mike,
No,
you're ready
I'm
to
scared of what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
I had
If that just jogged to make you say something, let's not. Actually, please do.
Well, I was watching the Laker game yesterday, and on the court, I don't watch basketball, but on the court it said Black Lives Matter.
Right.
And a part of me was like, it feels kind of gross now to put it on a court right next to the words Walt Disney World and sponsored by YouTube. It feels like someone's making money off of those. Yeah,
it's for sure. It for sure is commercialized, but it was also part of like the player demands to enter the bubble. So for them to continue playing, they were saying alongside of your multi-million-dollar sponsorships that pay to be on the court, we also ask that you put this message and then allow us to also have it on our jerseys. So yeah, of course, there are times where they're like, and LeBron with the ball, and oh, what a pretty fadeaway, and that reminds me of how the story about Breonna Taylor has faded away from the national news narrative. And it's like, no, I mean, kinda. And it's like, oh, every once in a while they jimmy it in, and it's like, all right, we get it. We understand what this is. During interviews, everybody mentions it afterwards, and it's all important for the, overall, visibility of the movement. Totally understand and can get behind it. But there are times where it feels very disingenuous, and you remember that it's a paid white guy that's like,
Yeah, he owns it. What's his name?
He owns
Oh,
what?
wait, who owns the phrase Black Lives Matter? Someone's got to own that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the organization Black Lives Matter that has now become like kind of, I think a financial institution for several several causes under the same umbrella.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I think I don't know if it's a single guy, but it's definitely like, a board.
Yeah.
Someone's just sitting on the website domain.
Yeah, it's Nicole Arbor. She owns blacklivesmatter.com. Just a picture of her being like,
Gotcha. Got it.
I win.
All right. Next question. Would you eat a worm for $100? If not, how much would it take? If yes, what's the lowest amount of money you'd do it for?
My question here's a question. What's the lowest amount of money it would take for Brendan to remember the questions that we've already done? Eat a worm.
We already do this?
Did this the most recent time, and you were like, I'm not eating a worm. And Mike said he'll do it for $1. I said I would do it for 50. You would like, I will never do it.
Dude, I delete them as soon as I'm done.
well,
But
then
do you
you just
delete
go
this
to the
experience?
same site.
I do go to the same site, but all right. Next question.
Brendan
So
also,
we'd all eat a worm.
after every podcast, just puts the memory in the trash and then clicks empty trash every time. Every time.
Yeah.
He gets back on the podcast. Who are you guys?
Who are you? Where am I? All right. Here.
What's it called? So we have a couple questions from the
Okay.
chat. Actually, let's just get to that. But I do want to. I like this one. Shaft McNulty goes, I only liked BLM's earlier work before they went mainstream, which I thought was hilarious. So up here, we a bunch of people saying hello to each other. I do really love that shit that our listeners kind of know and like each other at this
Yeah, I
point,
love
where they
that.
kind of convene every single week and they're very friendly to each other. What a delightful environment we've curated. So Shaft McNulty asked, would you rather have to go to a bagpipe only concert or a mumble rapper a cappella concert?
Oh,
good.
oh man, that's hard. I was gonna say mumble rap because you smoke enough weed, that'll be good. You do enough drugs, that could be good.
A cappella?
Yeah, if they do it
Acapella-
right.
Do you know what? All right, question, Brendan. Do you know what a cappella means?
Yes, I know what acapella means.
Because it was in 8 Mile. That's why. But
No,
yes,
I knew that before. It's a common word, you fuck.
What is it?
Why do you guys think I'm retarded? You know, that hurts my feelings.
Okay, spell a cappella.
ACA. I'm a
Yep.
bad speller, so hold on. ACA
Uh-huh.
PPELLA.
You were off by a P. Remove a
Fuck.
P. But what does a cappella mean?
I get thrown out of the spaceship. Ah!
Go watch our video.
Yeah, seriously,
Acapella
Brendan, if there
is to do it without music, is to do
Right,
just
good.
vocals. Yeah.
so you think some guy who's been you
I
think that
honestly
it would
think-
be good?
No, not compared to what it could be, but I think it's better than a bunch of fucking bagpipes playing. I think that could be good. You get like someone like Travis Scott or someone who's an actual good artist, or even think whatever you want about them. Everybody thinks Migos is mumble rap, which they are, but you get
Mhm.
those three guys doing that alone a cappella, like that could be actually kind of fun to look at and like watch and listen to.
Yeah, I'm torn because I truly hate mumble rap and see it as the complete death of a beautiful art form. But I will say that I feel like bagpipes has about a 3-minute shelf life until you start being like, okay. Until it starts grating on you, where you're like, oh, it's a lot of that.
Yeah.
It's
That
why
low, that low.
it sounds like me and my family just 8 gooses squawking at each other.
Holy shit! What is that?
But it's also probably why the Irish drink is because that's their music.
Well,
They're like, I
Irish
gotta
are
do
more
something to make that
Irish
fun.
are more like guitars,
Flutes.
and fiddles, and drums and stuff. And I feel like and
I
correct
was trying to make
me,
a joke.
correct me if I'm wrong, internet, but I believe that bagpipes were created for because it was like a horrifying noise that the armies would use as walking towards the other enemies, as if to be like, because it would scare the shit out of people, being like, what is that awful sound of lambs
Yeah.
being slaughtered?
I
Well,
thought
that's-
yeah. Sorry.
That's what's funny is it's just a roving band of people plucking feathers out of ducks. Like that's what people thought it was. They're like, what the fuck is this?
It's so fun. Dude, imagine if they did like a cappella mumble rap groups for war. They're like a bunch of Migos people leading it.
Yeah.
And they're
like, I can't understand what they're saying. It's like, it doesn't matter how close you get. You will never understand. So just
but like,
that's a good question. I think, go ahead, Brendan.
Last note. It's all subjective, obviously, but like when the freshman XXL came out with Designer and those guys and like Little Dicky, Designer did an a cappella version of one of his songs, and it was okay. I was like, this is all right. That guy sucks, but I was like, this is okay. But he's a mumble rapper, and I was like,
yeah. Here's the only thing that it could do for somebody like me who looks for any excuse to drink 1,000 beers and fist fight people, is it could access like the bagpipe concert could access like a deep Irish gem in my body that, like, you know, it's like an infinity stone, and out of nowhere I just become the Mick I've always been. And you know, that would be kind of cool if I could just like just transform into, you know, Mega Mick.
Yeah, but again, it definitely has a shelf life. Like, soon as they're done, they're like, all right, this is our next song. It's called Two Ships and a Bobby or whatever. That's more Australian, but
yeah,
that's a British Australian guy.
Man, you know nothing about our culture.
I know everything about it.
You don't. All right, next. Nifty biscuit. Sorry, I always say
nihilistic biscuit.
Cool. That's a cool name.
That was bad. Nifty biscuit. If the three of you were in a terrible accident that left your body broken beyond repair and the other two brain dead, and through a new miraculous medical procedure, you could have your brain. That was the end of the brain transplanted into one of the bodies. Would you do it? If so, whose would you choose and why?
The bodies?
So
right. So your body is broken beyond, I get it now. Your body is broken beyond repair, right? You're totally fine between the eyes and between the ears, perfectly normal, your brain works. The other two are totally fine bodily, but have no brain functionality whatsoever.
Have a cup of chowder for a brain.
Exactly. So they're cooked, you know, but they could put your brain in one of the other two's bodies. Who you picking?
Okay. I would pick. I don't know. You both got great bods, dude. A part of me wants to pick cannons because I would love to start drinking again. You know,
well,
and just ruin all that work. Yeah, ruin all the work you've done. But
that's also great. It's like you have just a brand spanking new liver to destroy.
Yeah. But also, like, no offense, you are always complaining about your knees hurting, right? And I don't want shitty knees, so I'm gonna go with Feeney.
Well, it's interesting you say that because the only reason I would pick Sagalo is purely because of age, because of the youth factor, the breaking down mechanism, and I feel like I could do a lot with his body. I feel like
you could fix
the opportunity,
it up, dude.
I could. It's like a restored Camaro. Like I can bring her back.
I do really have like car with beehive in it body.
Brett.
Your cinder block car.
It's like, with a couple of work, this could be a good car.
Some turtle wax.
Brendan is that unreal car that you find in your dead pa's garage that's just under 1,700 years of fucking, a tarp and like old magazines.
It's Feeney and his dad work on my body just as like a bonding
experience.
It's
a project, for sure. Brings us close.
I've seen people, especially now since I'm like autistically obsessed with BMX restoration, I've seen people find like this Hutch Trickstar, which is the holy grail, beautiful BMX bike, and they've found it in a junkyard, like mangled almost beyond recognition. And then a month later, they're like, look how we nursed our baby boy back to health. And it's like, ping, it's just cataloged, beautiful. And you're like, how do you do that? Like, I don't even understand the process of doing that. And apparently it's like extremely doable.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really amazing how people, I mean, first of all, have the time, but also the ability to like just start new life.
Yeah.
I think is my internet hiccuping or is Mike's?
It's Mike's.
Okay.
It's my
Yeah, your internet's kind of faulty.
Now you're
right
now you're frozen.
actually got
Oh, now you're back.
motherfucker. This internet I just literally got a boost, and it was supposed to be. Now I'm Sagalo. This sucks.
Welcome to my fucking world, dude. It sucks, man.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It does suck. Your life sucks, dude.
No, not anymore. I'm all up and at 'em, dude. And Feeney, I plugged in the Ethernet to my PlayStation.
There you go. We'll Twitch tonight.
All right. I was just playing Skyrim before.
Mm.
And I'm currently downloading the new Crash Bandicoot. But anyway, let's go to another question.
Okay, we have one more in the chat for now, and then we'll come back to some Brendan. So we got lost in the sauce. If you had a chance to have dinner with 3 serial killers, living or dead, who would you pick, and what's on the menu? What a good fucking question.
That's a great question. I don't think I know enough serial killers. I would probably pick like the top 3.
Ted Bundy, number
Ted Bundy,
one. This guy.
John
Ted
Wayne
Bundy
Gacy.
Ted Bundy is like, because he's so charming in his sociopath and his psychopathy that it would be just so intriguing to see. But it would also have to be like highly monitored. Like I almost feel like I would feel more comfortable if their arms were shackled down to their arms of their chairs. But Ted Bundy, you got to go with, because again, he's just. I mean, that documentary.
Is he the guy? Is Ted Bundy the guy that was gay? No, that's Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm sorry, right?
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dahmer is the guy
people.
and he like drilled into their heads and fucked the wound.
He was the guy that someone got away and the cop brought him back to his fucking apartment.
That's right. Yeah, the little Asian boy. It was like a 13-year-old Asian boy, and gay was like so like fucked up back then that guy was all like, he literally drilled a hole in his head, poured like bleach in his head, so he was all like fucked up, and they thought he was just drunk, and he like came out of the house in his underwear bleeding, and Jeffrey Dahmer ran him down, and the cops were like, oh, there's some gay shit, like you boys, do whatever you got to do in your apartment, we don't want to see that out on 3rd Street.
Dude, like, imagine being those cops, like later finding out that was what happened, and you're like, yikes. You're like, shit.
Yeah, how do you live with yourself?
Yeah.
But also, I don't know that, like, see, like that, I don't want that guy anywhere near me. I don't trust someone like, I trust like a Ted Bundy, because I feel like his whole thing is like, I really need to woo you and make you like me, and then I'll kill you, so he's gonna at least have in for an interesting dinner conversation. And then
he also sorry to interrupt, but he also only kills women, Ted Bundy, so it's like,
right,
I'm pretty safe,
Yeah, it's true.
What if he couldn't take his eyes off your supple breasts?
Well, then looks like I'm helping him get a chair in his car.
I'm trying to think of other serial killers, because again, Dahmer, I don't want to be anywhere near someone that eats someone.
Your microphone just cut off.
Yeah, your mic went out.
Shut off again.
Can I give you a suggestion?
Well, John Wayne Gacy, right?
It sounds like all 3 of us are kind of like in the same boat in terms of serial killers. So we know the good one, the kind of high profile ones, and don't have the good ones. We don't have we know the Hall of Fame serial killers. We're not necessarily indie serial killer people. Jim Norton really loves serial killers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And drinking piss. But he loves serial killers. He knows all of them. I would like to suggest Ed Gein, who the guy from Texas Chainsaw Massacre is based off of, and who, like, when they fucking broke into his house, he had like some crazy ass relationship with his mother, lived with her forever. When they broke into his house, he had a belt made out of nipples. A belt. Made out of nipples, and then like a lampshade made out of a chick. Like, he was a fucking grisly dude.
Oh my
God.
God.
Well, that I thought about him pretty immediately, and because of all the you just said is why I again don't want to be anywhere near him. I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to know him. I don't want to know what it's like to chisel someone's face off and wear it on yours.
Let's just say the experience in going out to dinner, they're not going to kill you. They're just
this. I got one. O.J. Simpson. Get him in this.
Is 2 serial killing?
They call him a serial killer.
But that was
that's because he was on a Wheaties box.
That's fun.
Come on. I mean, that
I enjoyed it.
deserved some audible
I
response.
laughed.
It's funny.
You
Hey,
didn't.
man, you can't blame the audience, dude.
I can, and I will, and you have. I've watched you.
I do it all the time.
Oh, what
No,
about John Wayne Gacy? What did he do?
Brendan's
or
brought
the
him up 6 times.
Or the chick from
He was
or
the
the
clown
chick from
guy.
Monster.
What?
Oh,
Chick from Monster.
Yeah. Well, she was a prostitute, right? And then she killed her Johns. Was that her thing?
Yeah,
That's kinda
Or Jack the Ripper
Jack the Ripper.
killed
Yeah.
over
That's who you-
100 people.
Dude, that's who you want to be with. I feel like
Wait, no, he didn't.
Jack the Ripper is like I feel like there's copycats. Like that's what really happened. Like he probably killed a couple and then whatever.
Do you want to know? I really believe this. I bet Bill Cosby has killed people. Like
You
if
think so?
if he's as dark and insidious, and maybe not him like personally, like I don't know if fucking Dr. Huxtable wrapped his hands around somebody's neck and watched the life leave their body, but I think he probably was like to, somebody in his home, make sure that person doesn't
Yeah.
live.
He's probably
Like,
had people killed.
For sure, dude. He is such a detached psychopath that
Yeah.
like life beyond his own couldn't mean less to him.
Yeah. Can I say something about Ted Bundy?
So I picked Bill Cosby.
I picked Jack the Ripper. I think that would be fucking cool. But Ted Bundy, I bet I could figure that guy out. I bet I could figure that he was a killer. Just because, like, he might be charming, but every charming guy I've met, I'm like, this guy kills people. Like if they're like, well, hello, if they're like that, I'm like this guy's
well, that's Brendan's
Well, hello.
example of charming. And
You want me to do
brow
the
up and,
dishes?
well, hello, hi. Somebody that makes eye contact, can't trust him.
Dude, I'm reading about Ed Gein now, and I'm
in on him. He's one of my dinner guests.
This just isn't his first sentence. The man whose macabre and horrific acts helped inspire, obviously, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, also Psycho and Silence of the Lambs.
Oh
And
my
he grew up in
God.
an isolated area of Wisconsin, abused child of an alcoholic father, and a puritanical and domineering mother who instilled in her son a pathological fear of both women and sex.
Hell yeah.
Oh God.
When his father, brother, and mother died within a 5-year period, he was left alone at the family farm, where he eventually cordoned off parts of the house, turning into a shrine of sorts to his mother. Ew, ew, ew. And 13 years later, 13 years is when police arrived on a tip regarding a missing hardware store owner. They discovered that dude's headless corpse hanging upside down from the rafters. Oh my God. They revealed a property of a hall of horrors, including human body parts turned into household items such as chairs and bowls.
Chairs.
Faces used as
Chairs.
wall
How do you make someone out of it? How do you make a chair out of someone? And he must every time he sat on his person
watch
chair.
Watch me.
I guess, but like what I'm saying is,
Easy.
It must have been so like. Every time he sat down, he must have been like, don't break, don't break, don't break.
They said he
You know?
also made a vest of a human torso out of a human torso.
Dude, what is he, Mr.
Like Mr.
Burns?
Yeah. See my vest, made of everyone you know. But he said that many of these items were from already dead bodies that he stole from the graves, but that he murdered one other woman in addition to Warden. So really, he only murdered 2 people. The rest he just stole, and he was just spent the rest of his life in a mental hospital.
That's so funny.
Good.
To
I
be
mean,
like,
he's just a recycler.
Yeah.
he's like, hey, I didn't kill this guy. I just made his testicles my earrings.
Yeah, I find nothing wrong with that.
Hey, do whatever you want with my body, right? Little Louis bit. Anyway, are we going next question?
Yes.
Well, this kind of works with what we were talking about, but if you could have the power to know for certain which truly evil people, Hitler, for example, it says there, not my opinion. Hitler, for example, the
Free
world
live
would.
up.
Oh yeah, you're right. The world would be far better off with and then have the task to kill them, would you do it? So basically,
I need you to read that question without so many hurdles.
I know you're right. If you could have the power to know for certain which truly evil people the world would be better off without, and then you had the task to kill them. So someone goes, that guy's for sure evil, and you have the job to kill them. Would you take that job?
Dude, killing Hitler and I wouldn't. Everyone's like, you killed baby Hitler, and then people are like, you just murdered a baby, blah blah blah. I feel like killing Hitler at like 12 would be pretty easy, you know, because he feels like he was all just like a skinny little like puppet, you know.
But what about?
Would you really care about killing baby Hitler?
No, but there's the whole thing of being like, oh, but he's a baby. We don't know if he's going to be. By 12, he's definitely already like hurting cats and shit, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But no, it actually happened late for him. I think it was like more or less like financial hardship and failure as a lawyer or as an artist that like led to his just bigoted approach. And then it became like war criminal shit as the steam kept moving, like as the power kept coming in. I think he went like almost slowly crazy from power.
Yeah.
But that's why you beat that baby to death the first minute you get an opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't care if I am faced with goo goo gaga, one tooth fucking Hitler with applesauce in his mouth. I'll punch that baby into an oblivion.
Well, that's a good idea, actually, is that you can have, if you're there right when the baby's born and you go to take it to like clean it and then you just kind of kill it and you'll be like, oh, it didn't survive.
That's
the
how
baby
you do
was
it.
stillborn. And
Yeah,
then,
you dress up like a doctor.
or while
I'm thinking,
you dress up like a doctor and then while the baby's coming out, as the head pokes, you just fucking crank it and be,
and you could have a little fun with it too and be like, hello, everybody, I am Dr. Holocaust, because they don't know about it yet.
Yeah, there's one guy that knows about an older Holocaust. That's like,
wait a tick.
Yeah.
I feel like if you kill Hitler at 12, something worse is gonna, like his brother sees it and then he becomes like this weird psycho, or whatever. Right?
Could be.
Like butterfly effect, like that.
Does Adolf Hitler have a brother?
I don't know.
Tom Hitler.
Mike
Dustin Hitler.
Actually, does some of the best window work you've seen in Germany.
He actually owns a video store. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I would have kept the riff going,
dude.
But
Hitler had so many siblings. Paula Hitler, Alois Hitler, Angela Hitler, Ida Hitler, Gustav Hitler, Otto Hitler, and Edmund Hitler. That was all of his brothers and sisters.
Which, by the way, was not even 100 years ago. So, like, a bunch of them, I bet, like, if not are still alive, then, like, their kids are still alive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. But also, if you're them, I mean, do you change your name? You got to change your name, right?
Oh, the name has changed.
You can't be walking around as Christine Hitler.
No Hitlers, no Stalins, no anybody that's responsible for any sort of genocide. You start anew. I bet there's no. Actually, that's not true. I was gonna say I bet there's no Escobars. There's like 19 in baseball.
1 million. Yeah, there's so many. They like proudly wear it. Also, he's my favorite serial killer. He's a serial killer.
Oh,
I'd like to
he's
hang out
great.
with and talk to.
Yeah.
You forget about ruthless dictators. It actually would be kind of interesting to have fucking like Hitler in a conversation and just be like, where did it all go? And you open the conversation like, oh my God, that's who painted that? And he's like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
He likes you all of a sudden. You go to a restaurant where they give out crayons and you're able to draw on the table. And you're like, this is my favorite place, 80. So enjoy.
You're like, wow, underrated lighting supply on that painting of that Belgian Malinois. Was that you? No. So then can I pick Barack Obama?
He's political.
Yeah, I mean, he's sending drones into the Middle East. He's technically kind of a serial killer.
Then you know who I'm picking? God.
Hillary. Oh God.
Got a couple Dave Smiths over here, huh?
I think God is the answer.
Yeah, God has got to be one of the
God,
answers, for
Hitler, and
sure.
Obama. Just for them to, it's like Anthony's joke. They're all sitting at a table figuring out what they have in common.
Yeah. We all had sex with your mom. I never see my balls. That's yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. All right, we got one more in the chat. You want to get that one?
Yes.
Nifty Biscuit. If you had to replace a significant historical figure with a comic, example, Walt Disney with Rich Voss, Jackie Robinson with Keith Robinson, who would they be and why?
So funny. I would replace Babe Ruth with Colin Quinn. Or who was the?
They
who
both
was that?
had heart attacks.
Was that Lou Gehrig's? Who was the one that was like, I feel like the luckiest
Lou Gehrig.
person? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Replace him with Colin Quinn just to hear that speech all fucking mumbled. Whatever. I feel like the luckiest, take a leave it, whatever.
Of course, I have.
But of course, there were some lucky people when the city was first established. I'm sure people felt lucky, but
Jackie Robinson stinks.
Do you guys think he's gonna really leave?
New York?
Whoa.
I figured if anybody was gonna go down with the ship, it was gonna be him.
Colin is going down with the ship. There's no way he's leaving.
I mean,
It's-
you would think that he, in any way, shape, or form, would have said that on Rogan, but he was very, very, like, open to the idea, which I think is the first part of the whole thing.
yeah, I
Yeah.
am too. Anybody want to move me south? I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah.
You're gonna
move
go to?
south.
You want to
I'm
go
ready
to Austin?
No, not Austin, but I would go to like Nashville. I'll protect a statue and just fucking live in that city.
I've never been to Nashville. Have you?
No, but I want to live there. It's the only place I talk about, and I've never been there.
Yeah, I wonder what's a place that you talk about but you've never been to, but you're like, I could live there without ever having been there.
Hawaii.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Hawaii, baby.
Yeah. All right.
All right, next question.
Hitler's last remaining relative lives on Long Island. I wonder if that's
What? Is it me?
true. No, there's no way that's true. There has to be a ton of remaining relatives. If he had that many brothers and sisters,
Yeah, they just want to try and kill the narrative.
I wonder if any of them got brought in though. Like, what once Adolf, like some of them had to have like secretary positions or cabinet or something. It's like,
yeah, and also even if
Sure.
they didn't, you can't just go to a bar and have a drink at the pub after World War II once your
Yeah.
brother was responsible for some of the worst war crimes in humanity. You're gonna get a
Especially
fucking
if
beer bottle.
If you're showing
broken
that
over your head.
license. Yeah, you're showing. Can I see license before you get in? ID? Here you go.
Yeah, because before
Sorry,
that,
bud.
dude, in the 3 years before that though, that's the Peaky Blinders right there. Like, you want my
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
name? Hitler's my fucking name.
Yeah,
And they're like,
by
"Whoa,"
order.
you know?
By order of the
Right.
Hitlers.
Yeah, yeah. By order of the Hitlers.
yeah, wow. They must have gotten any seat in any bar just for fear, turning somebody into kindling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jesus.
Anyway, next question. What kind of
Yep.
candy would you be? Okay.
Are
Is
you
that
serious?
real? Oh, I thought you were
No,
kidding.
I was kidding because we just talked about serial killers and Hitler for
Well,
like
that's
a
what I
half
thought.
hour. So I was like, be funny if-
37 minutes, I'll have you know.
what's the next question in the chat? Didn't you say there was another one?
No, that was it.
Oh, okay.
For now, people are they're talking about another reason to hate Long Island. It's ridiculous,
That's funny.
all that stuff.
That's funny.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Long Island, 2/3 of this podcast wouldn't exist.
That's right. Only
Actually,
the good part
all
would
three
remain.
of them, because Cannon's dad is from Long Island.
Oh,
yeah,
good point.
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I am probably a little more purebred white trash than you guys because I have Levittown and Jersey as my,
Oh yeah.
as
Oh,
my
yeah.
direct cum and egg.
All right, this is a fun, cute little question. If you were to start your own restaurant, what would it be called? What type of food would you sell? And how many items would you have on the menu?
I think you got to have a small menu. There's nothing. The first thing I do when I look at a menu is you see how many pages there are, And while it's stressful, sometimes when there's just the one, you turn it over, scanning it, you see nothing you like, you turn it over, it's blank, and you're like, ah. But like a 1 to 2 pager, but anything more than that, and once you go to a diner, you're like, well, all of this is frozen and they can't make all of it good.
Yeah. The worst thing is the multiple Bible pages that you get when you go to a diner. It
Like a Cheesecake
sucks.
Factory.
Dude, I've seen people order lobster at a diner, and you're like,
Oh my
I mean,
God.
good for you. That's crazy. It's so crazy. You're gonna be so sick, but I mean, it's there for a reason.
Imagine if it's just like it's just like a raccoon with fake little things on its paws.
Clack, 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 clack.
What would you call it? And what would you serve?
I mean, I already know the numbers because my favorite restaurant, like they always have like between 6 and 8 appetizers, and depending on if it's 6 or 8 and 10 main dishes. So, and then like, I'd have like an apple pie and a brownie for dessert or something like that. I'd have 2 options. So I'd have probably like 20 total items on the entire menu. Very 1-page laminated stiff. That's what you get. Me personally, I think I would try to have it like almost like I just want the stuff that I like the most, which is like seafood, steak, chicken, like fried chicken.
Yeah.
Like that kind of entree style, whatever mix and match. We'd have the fried chicken sandwich and, the surf and turf, the 2-pound lobster. You get, varied between that stuff.
That would be great.
There's an absolutely phenomenal restaurant in Astoria where what I love about them, and it's kind of like the thrill of it almost, is that there is no menu there. So you go in, it's like a 20-seat place. The guy is the owner, the chef, the server, the bartender. He's everybody. And he's like this big Lebanese like guy. He's like a character, he's like very loud and gregarious and whatnot. But he literally just goes like, what do you like? And you'd be like, I like chicken, and this and that. And he's just like, all right, I'm gonna do something for you.
Oh, he froze.
I was waiting.
I'm so into this.
Breath. Yeah.
I'm so
where is
into
this place? I'm going for lunch. Wait, we didn't hear you.
Yeah, you froze at. He's like, yeah. Okay, sorry.
So he was like, he came over and was like, what do you like? So I Erica said chicken, and he was like, I also have lamb today. It's whatever he has, So he's like,
right.
I have lamb, and so he made me this lamb shank that was like fall off the bone, melted, incredible.
Wow.
Erica had some like pomegranate chicken thing with all these other spices and shit, and it's just like. It was all like whatever he could get that day. And it's just like, I'm going to make you something. But also it's got like a Lebanese influence. So there's those spices and things. So he and it's BYOB too. I was like,
nice.
And it's been on like a ton of like Bizarre Eats and Bourdain and all those kind of restaurants.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's like Dominic's on Arthur Ave. Have you been there?
No. Oh, no, not Dominic's, but I love Arthur Ave.
Yeah. Dominic's is like, aside from Rayo's, which nobody can get into unless you have a literal mob club card. Dominic's is the spot where you can get into relatively easy, but they also don't have a menu, and they come by and they're like, yeah, what kind of like Italian dish are you into? And the guy's like, all right, done. I know what to make you. And it's just so fucking good, dude. It's as if you have just some crotchety old grandma in your kitchen on demand that could just cook you the best Italian food you've ever had.
Good ingredients make such a difference, and you could tell when restaurants like buy the cheap chicken versus like the expensive, like those like Bill and Evans expensive fucking whatever, chicken breasts that are like $10 a pound or something. It comes across, man. It's so good.
You know what restaurant I would open up? I would call it Brendan's
Burger King.
No.
Brendan's Burger Bar.
No. Brendan's Barbecue and Steakhouse Hotel. So it would be
everybody eats so much they fall asleep,
and everything just smells of smoke. So once you're full, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, you get itis, and then you just go upstairs, and
your chair turns into a bed.
Yeah, servers have a son of a bitch turning over tables. But it is.
That's actually a good idea. Is so as soon as you fall asleep at the table, there's a trap door that brings you to your hotel room, and then they just bill you at the end. So you just slide down almost like it's a mail chute. You go to a room and you're just asleep till the next day.
Just falling through the fucking thing.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Cool.
Enjoy that.
We got time for a couple more questions.
Yeah. Let me see if there's any more in the thing. None in the chat. They do say our restaurants sound like great ideas.
Okay, here's a question. Would you rather change your race or gender?
I think I would rather change my race because I know what it's like to live in this gender. So I'd like to keep it that way. And then because I feel like, I don't know, what do you think's harder to be? Do you think it's harder to be a minority man or a white woman?
Well, if SNL taught us anything.
Well, they tweet the most. We know that now. But
yeah.
But I think
what a bunch of idiots that proved the point.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like way to fall into that trap, you idiot.
Oh, God,
you saw a delicious raw steak in a fucking cage, and you couldn't help yourself. You had to jump right in, didn't you?
I mean, he literally
crazy
curated a viral set. You know,
Yep.
like he made, like, how many people shared Chris Rock's thing? It was like people were like, "Oh, Chris Rock did it. That was cool."
Yeah.
Anyway, you know, it's like birds.
Yeah.
Like people are talking about it, and then because then it's a genius tactic. You know, even though it's just him being him, it's like it's also like, oh, he knew what was going to happen. You know,
Right.
he knew what the response it was going to elicit, and it's just. It's so funny to see. My favorite were the people that were like, "Who the fuck is this old racist white guy?" And you're like,
Yeah.
"Well, if
People
you're
that
coming
don't
into
know
the
who Bill
conversation
Burr
with
is.
you don't know who he is, then we can't help you." You know,
Sure.
Crazy.
But that's also the beauty of it is that now, so he basically got this much awareness, right, and generated this much buzz, and it's to zero deficit to himself because these people would never be his fan. The people that are upset about it, which is very few, I'm not even sure if they actually exist or if they're just bots, because it's that preposterous how these people fell hook, line, and sinker and are literally regurgitating the points he made against his point. Like, it's so embarrassing, the lack of intellect that can even wrap their brain around what he was doing. And so these people are not tied to comedy. They're not tied to a good time. They're tied to
reality.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
They're tied to online life. Like, that's their life. They live online. So in their world, they just made a difference. The online community, there is a swell of outrage. And then they go outside and they ask anybody at CVS if they saw Bill Burr's thing. The answer is no, or it was the best.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you don't exist. Stop trying to pretend that your fucking online bullshit even has a single impact on human beings breathing oxygen.
Yeah. I also think it's like the irony of being mad at Bill for being like white women, and then being like, how could a white man, like, you're just, how are you fighting this with the same argument that he's making? You know,
Well, that's what I said. Yeah, that's what they're regurgitating his argument. So that's what's so embarrassing about it is they're making his point. They're reaffirming what he was saying.
Yeah.
And also they're not listening. Conveniently enough, they omit the part where he says, "Sit down next to me, the toxic white male who is responsible for all these atrocities throughout humanity, and take your talking to like I have."
Yes.
Not you alone, you dippy white bitch. No, us as a collective, because you have benefited from this, you soccer mom twat that acts as though you're living in a fucking prison. Beat it, lady. And of course, women are oppressed on some level, but Jesus Christ, take the point.
But dude, the fucking the line of being like, and then you ran off and slept with the fucking with the slave, and then said he raped you.
Oh my God.
That was a
fucking haymaker, dude.
Yeah, as soon as he said that, I literally pushed Nicole out of bed.
I started wondering if women should vote.
Right.
But I do think so. To get back to the question, I think I would like to change. I would change race. I would do. I'd do Asian. I'd do black.
Yeah.
I'd do.
I do black.
What other good? I wouldn't. I would say, and it's no slam on any of them, but I feel like if I had a pecking order, I feel like Indian would be the lowest. I feel like Samoan would be up there pretty high.
Samoan would be awesome.
There, like
Samoan they're also caramel beautiful people.
Filipino,
Samoans, so
gorgeous. It's like all of that. I just
listen. There's some races that if you're kind of, it's like you're almost like guaranteed to be a little severe looking. White is one of them. So it's like if you jump into white, it's like you could look like a real sloppy waterlogged potato. It's like you're not jumping into handsome. Exactly. So this is not me saying like, and us are pure genetics are far superior. It's like, no, this is one of them, but there's also other cultures out there where based on geography or what they eat or whatever the fuck, it's like there are some more severe looking people within that culture. So you got to pick within that and what you're willing to look like.
Totally. Yeah. There's many.
That's been my career, everybody. Good night.
I guess we're finding a new co-host. What's Greg Stone up to?
Apparently, Mikey likes segregation.
No, that's not what I said. I said certain cultures are ugly.
Doesn't matter. It's on the internet now.
All right,
It's free.
It's free.
It's free.
Sterna Style said, "We get it. You guys wish you all had tans." Also, Sterna Style, thanks for saying hi after Soul Joel's, you maniac. I thought you were the guy. He messaged me after and no, he didn't say hi. But which was justified because he actually gave me a good reason. He was just like, listen, I didn't know if you were doing meet and greets or if you wanted to talk to anybody or if you were just like, or if you're being cautious. And I totally can respect that. But it was funny because Brendan and some kid came up to us after and Brendan and I were talking and this kid was just a classic IGP fan because he was wall-eyed and wildly autistic. And he was like kind of creeping up on us and he complimented me under his breath. And I was like, oh man, thanks so much. Like I left the conversation with Brendan to attend to the person that just paid to see us. Yeah. And I just go, oh man, thanks so much, dude. That really means a lot. And he was like, yeah. And Brendan was, he was saying something nice about Brendan and Brendan looks at him and then looks back to me and continues our conversation. And I just go, hey, Brendan, he just complimented you.
Yeah.
And Brendan goes, all right. Like, I just wanted to, all right. Thanks, dude. And like literally just goes,
that's not
hang on. Shut your face. This is still the story. And he goes, thanks, dude, whatever. And then the guy takes off his hat and points to a raccoon pin that he's previously bought from Brendan.
Yes.
And boy, was that Irish face red. He was just like,
that's not what happened at all. I mean,
that's exactly what happened.
It is what happened, but you're just really leaning towards the way. This is like that episode of Always Sunny when they're in the convenience store and they're seeing all the different things that they would do. Every time you tell a story that involves me, it's always me just blubbering and being terrible.
Yeah, why else would I tell it? The other
because you're a liar.
No, the other moment. But it's not a lie because it's a story because you were blubbering. When you're acting like a normal human being, it's not entertaining.
Brendan, what did he get wrong about the story?
Just the attitude of the whole thing. Like it is what happened. But I was
exactly, Feeney, I can't tell you verbatim. It's exactly what happened, and you would have had the same experience.
Can I speak?
No.
Can I speak? What had happened was we were talking and we were in this not argument, obviously. Who knows? It could have been an argument, but we were in like this discussion, like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. And then I didn't even see this guy. And I turned to him and I was like, oh, thanks, man. Like, yeah, thank you very much. Like someone walking by, all you do is go, oh, thank you very much. Thanks. And then I turned back to Mike and I was like, blah, 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 blah. And then he showed the raccoon pin and Mike was like, this guy's trying to talk to you, man. And I went,
you said thank you when I
fucking middle.
No, you said thank you when I pointed him out. You looked at him at first and then looked back at me. The reason I know this is because we talked about it while he was there. He was in front of us and I was like, what the hell was that, Brendan? Why wouldn't you just talk to? And you're like, I was trying to finish our conversation and then I was going to talk to him. And I'm like, you're just going to make him watch our conversation?
Real convenient for you, buddy. You're the fucking hero in this story, huh? Real convenient.
I mean, it's not convenient. I'm telling the story because I'm the hero, and that's what happened.
What else happened?
That's why the story is tellable.
What else happened, Aquaman?
I'm telling what else? I was just laughing midway through laughing at Mike's thing. I heard you call him Aquaman. I'm back on Brendan's side now. That's the Aquaman thing. I was Mike all the way.
Bullshit, dude. That's an absolute travesty.
I was mid-agreeing with Mike, and then he said, what else happened, Aquaman? And it's just the greatest.
But Feeney, you obviously know the truth of the situation and how Brendan
he doesn't know
operates.
shit because you're fucking feeding him these lies.
Excuse you.
Wow.
I'm everybody lies but Brendan, huh?
Yeah, who's Aquaman now?
Yeah. How many times has Brendan said this about when he comes on Irish Goodbye? Feeney's just a liar. That's not how it happened at all. Here's
You
how
guys
it
lie
really
all
happened.
the time.
We don't. It's because you see yourself out of rose-colored glasses and you see the rest of the world in blue blockers. Like you think we're all up to dark, evil shit and Brendan can't do no wrong. But meanwhile, you're the sleaziest of all.
Street Coke.
That's true. Street coke. Okay. One more question.
So Certisal actually answered. He goes, that's the other reason I felt awkward about stopping by. I didn't want to scare the sneaky raccoon. He already dislikes me. You dislike him?
Well, yeah, that's what I wanted to hear about, is because Brendan was threatening to fight him, and there was like some word because Adrian's he's a good dude, he's a loyal listener, and he
had more to say. He said I was even going to give Brendan some PA alcoholic seltzers, but I didn't want to get big timed by Brendan.
Why would you? First of all, if you think I don't like you, give me the fucking seltzers and maybe we can make up. I don't fucking like.
Was that a threat?
I don't fucking like somebody who. You guys are on the same fucking side of this. We talk about this all the time about people that are fans that give us shit, and it's like, dude, I don't fucking know you. I don't like you. If you do that, we all talk about that. So it's not just me.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that I think that Brendan. You know, like Adrian is a fan and a listener and stuff, but then, you know, I think he gets excited like some of the listeners do, and then comes in with like he sees everyone throwing punches and he comes in, he's like, I'll throw a couple.
Yes.
And then, but again, if we don't know you, comes especially to Brendan, it comes to all. I mean, you know, we quickly become fiercely protective of our Brendan,
right.
And I understand why Brendan would also be pissed if someone's trashing
How many
him.
times have we said we love that we've created this fucking fan base of nice people? We always say that we fucking love that shit. And all you have to do is come up to me and be like, "What's up, man? Hey, yeah." Like all we have to do is be like, "What's up?" But if I don't fucking know you, don't fucking bust my balls because we're not cool like that.
I didn't know. I didn't know that was your relationship with him. I'm sorry.
I'm going to burn my house down.
You don't have a house.
Hopefully he comes back out next week and then you guys can hash it all out.
Yeah, fucking give me a dap or a high five. Sorry. That's if I changed my race. I would say that. No, say hi. Give me well, I'm not drinking right now, but give me a fucking, weed or something.
Yeah.
And,
by the way, we all love that. I mean, What's His Tits came out this week and gave me an eighth of like Pennsylvania fucking whatever weed. And it is so delightful. I really, truly appreciate people bring marijuana to a show and gift it to us.
Please don't give me edibles.
Give me edibles. I'll send the edibles.
Yeah, give them to Mike or Brendan. I'll take the actual weed, or fucking or booze or whatever. But I don't like edibles. I don't like them to begin with. I don't trust them from anybody. So especially if you tell me it's 5, I'm going to think it's 400, and you're lying to me to get a good prize out of the Irish Goodbye story. Like I don't want it. I don't want it.
I want it.
I did a show yesterday on a rooftop, and Napoleon was doing this joke about mushrooms and how he likes mushrooms. And some guy after the show gave him like an eighth of mushrooms. Just walked up to him and was like, "Here you go, dude." Like he was like a dealer at the show. And he was like,
That's
"Oh,
awesome.
thanks, man." And I was like, "Where did he go? Where is this guy?"
Dude, see, that should happen more often. So in the movie Hoop Dreams, those guys are like from a really bad part of Chicago, but because the drug dealers know that it's like gang life or hoops, like that's kind of the only way for their area, the drug dealers would protect the basketball players and give them money to buy sneakers and like equipment. Isn't that crazy?
That's
That's
awesome.
like our fans. If you guys just buy us drugs, we get funnier.
Don't expect us to do it in front of you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll
Oh,
never
yeah,
do it
no.
with you. And this is on YouTube. But also I think we have one more minute with the live stream because isn't there like a 60-minute capacity or something?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, please consider signing up for the Patreon. We have tiers as low as $5 a month. That's a cup of coffee and a half, and you get just about 3 hours of content a week.
Mhm.
Plus, you can also check out Irish Goodbye Podcast, check out Garbage Days. You know where to all find us on social media. If you're here for a reason. We don't need to
You guys
fucking
are the
do
best.
things, but
Yeah.
come out to see shows, share our videos, sign up for the Patreon, tell some friends, and we love you all.
We love you. We love you, Cerna Style. We love you all. We love everybody that comes into the chat every single week. Thank you so much. This is awesome. Every single week. I look forward to Mondays. So yeah, patreon.com/scenario pod. Sign up, tell your friends, pass this along as a free sample, and we love you.